When you run a business, you have to keep some foundationals in mind. And if we get too lost in the common definition of chaos, which is entropy, disorder, unpredictability, versus the empowering definition, which is it's an abyss, it's emptiness, it's a void, it's an opportunity to infuse new energy to create something new. That's the empowering definition. But if we get too lost in the old definition, our business suffers. So here's how to actually make sure you are focused in on the business so it's not suffering, regardless what happens in your personal life or your business life. Is this as simple as 1, 2, 3? No. But if you keep these layers in mind, it'll direct you to the right place. So I'm going to give you, there's just three areas we're going to boil it down into. And you're going to be able to apply these to any problems you have or any situations that you're in your practice. The first area for a business owner, for a practitioner, is you have to ask yourself, what is my cash flow move? What's my cash flow move? You're like, Ranesh, wow, you just went from, chaos and energy to my cash flow move. Yeah, that's a leap, but that's what we are meant to do. We have to bring the spiritual essence to the physical matter, right? That's how you make things come alive. When you bring that spiritual essence to the physical matter, you make things come alive. So the first thing is, what is my cash flow move? And when things get crazy, most people, they forget this. They don't focus on the cash flow move. What's my cash flow move? Now, if you've been here long enough, you know probably what I'm going to say. It's you waking up every day, going into your office. What is the one thing my team can do to generate more appointments in the seat, the right appointments, the ones I want? Maybe it's unscheduled treatment plans. Maybe it's all you did that was constructive with your team that day is you had them text 20 people, 20 patients. Get in. We have an offer. We have a package. Let's get you in. The key is you got to aim for the cash flow move. If you have team members listening to this, if all they did on a Wednesday, because they were sluggish or they were not feeling good or it just weren't having a good day, if all they did on Wednesday was focused on one move, it should be this move, the cash flow move. How do I get new revenue, new cases from existing patients back into the office this week or next week? What is it? And I can guarantee every single one of you, there is a patient or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 sitting there in your Dentrix, in your EagleSoft, in your OpenDental, in your software that is ready to come in. And the reason they haven't came in yet is that you just haven't handed them the bridge. Say, hey, come on in, let's get you scheduled in. Here's what we're doing this month. Here's how we're handling this week. Here's what we're offering for these procedures this week. It's not that they don't want to get it done. A lot of times people just need a hand. They're like, come on in. I mean, they just need a reminder. Remember what we always say, people buy what's in front of them? That's what I'm talking about. The cash flow move gets you in front of them. And when we're going through this sense of like, oh my God, everything's hitting the fan, we forget doing this. We don't do this. We're like, oh. Now, it's not just that. Because if it was just a cash flow move, that doesn't solve the problem. What that does, what I'm going to tell you next is the solution to the problem. What the cash flow move does is keep your business alive. And in business, if you don't have revenue coming in consistently, your business starts drying up and it starts getting stressful. And now you make these vulnerable moves from not a good place. And we don't want to be in that space. So that's number one. You take care of the oxygen of the business. Number two, what's the second thing? Number two. Come on. What's the second thing that is the move? Now, this one has more to do to solve the problem, whether it's a hygienist that you have to hire, a doctor that's gone, maybe it's a team that has to reconfigure. What's the second move? It is what I call the bullseye move, the bullseye move to solve the problem. So here's the thing. The key with the bullseye move, you want to solve the problem in the fewest steps. Most people don't think of that. They think, okay, I need to find a solution to my problem. But I'm saying I don't want just a solution. What is the one domino that I could tip over that if I tipped it over, it would make the rest of the moves insignificant? What is the one thing I could do that if I did, it would make everything else irrelevant? What would be that move? That's why I called it the bullseye move, because it's the one thing. I'm going to call it the one thing that I could do if I just did this one thing. The bullseye. What's the bullseye move? You do not, with the fewest steps, okay? The fewest steps. And this is key, because you don't want to do a lot of steps. What is the one domino? What's the one domino? The one domino that I could tip that would make the rest of the things irrelevant. I want to do the fewest moves. So, for instance, if you're like, God, I'm struggling with team. I had 2 people leave. Well, what's the one thing I could do? Well, I need to get at least one person in. Could I make a phone call? Could I post an ad? Could I rehire someone that I've lost? I know they're good. They were just going through a bad season. They're not bad in the office. Can I reconsider that? There's a lot of moves that are outside. That takes the fewest amount of steps. And I'm not looking for, you got the target. Here's the bullseye. You're not looking to do all this other stuff here. You're really looking to say, hey, this is the move right here. How do I get that move? And you got to ask yourself what that is. It's not you squandering around trying to do 15 different things just so you can stay busy. It's really you zoning in and say, okay, how do I take in less information and really just focus on solving this simple problem? I'll give you an example. Sometimes the move can be if someone's coming into your office and they're great and you love them and you're like, God, they just need a little bit more money. Sometimes it's you looking at your numbers, crunching the numbers and saying, hey, you know what? We can do it. I can give them a few dollars more. I really like them. That's okay. But I'm going to show them a way so that way they can be more productive in my office. So you start there. You've solved for that issue. If you're an insurance office and you're like, I'm sick of taking Liberty. I mean, I'm sick of Liberty Dental. I was like, what could I do? It's you just sitting down. The bullseye move there is you sitting down, going over your numbers and saying, how many patients are actually coming in from this insurance? How much are they bringing in? And you making an immediate decision to get off of that plan, and hopefully others. Right? You making that decision. Veronica asked us in the portal, hey, what do I do with this? I'm out of network, but they think I'm in network, but they don't realize I'm out of network until they get their EOB. It's as simple as saying, hey, do I want to be on this plan or not? And if you're a new office, your goal is to form that relationship with that patient that first year. You want to deepen that relationship. You want them to get to know you. So you know what I'm going to do for the first year? If I'm going to stay with this insurance, I'm going to get a network. I'll be there in network for the first year. After I've formed that relationship, I'll drop the insurance. And I'll be open and I'll be transparent. Yeah, we're in network because we've applied to do that. And if we're not, it's as simple as, hey, you know what? We take your insurance, but we're out of network for it, which means that you're going to get the money from the insurance, which is awesome, but we're going to have these other fees, and this is what it's all about, right? It's you just being transparent and confident in your ability to serve and to do good. And sometimes we have good intentions and we're timid because we think the world is not going to accept what we're willing to do, even though our intentions are good. I'm like, you have good intentions, own that. Own it. Go out there and do your best. Don't worry about all this other stuff. Right? So you got to think about, what is the bullseye move? Now, third step is what I think every one of us should be doing when we're in a situation of chaos. Every one of us should be asking this third question. When you're going through a tough time or chaos in your practice, your personal life, whatever it is, ask yourself, what is great about this situation that's going to help me grow and serve others because of who I became through the process? What's great about this? What is great about this that's going to help me grow? That's going to help you serve others deeper and better because of who I'm becoming. And most of us forget that question, to ask ourselves, what is great about this? What's great? What's great about this? What's great about this? I guarantee you there's something there. And yeah, you can call it the silver lining, but I like to just say asking better questions are going to give you better answers that are going to help serve you. And each and every one of you, this question should be on the forefront, especially in tough times, because notice what I said, what I baked into this question. What's great about this that's going to help me grow and serve others in the process as I become better? Right? You get new business owners coming in, or someone new to the space of having a business, making money, generating revenue, and they get started. And you know what? They first, almost always what they think starting off, they think, oh my God, this is tough. Business is tough. Making money out here, this is hard. This is hard. This is tough. And they start thinking, oh my God, it's tough. And now they put this layer or this energy of like, this whole thing is tough. Rather than saying, hey, it's not about tough or easy. It's about me becoming who I need to become to generate the outcome. Right? Jim Rohn said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. So it's not about tough or easy. It's just about becoming better. This whole thing is about becoming a greater, more, deeper, higher, purposeful version of yourself. All these games that we're at, business, the practice, the team, these are all gymnastics. These are all games that help us become better, that help us become more. But the end result and the end goal, I believe, is evolving spiritually as a person, someone who can give more, be more, who can serve more. So really, what is meant to happen is happening. So if you're going through a challenge, it's there to serve you, and it was meant to grow you. It was not meant to placate you and just keep you comfortable. It's meant to grow you, right? I always say it's okay to be comfortable, but don't get comfortable. Think of that. It's okay to be comfortable, but don't get comfortable. And many of us, sometimes in our businesses and our practices, things start going well, and we just kind of get comfortable. And what happens? When you get comfortable, you stop growing. So a problem comes back and something fires up. Oh my God, I got to get back into it. So if you're going to do this thing by design, it is up to you to orchestrate and to design and curate your personal growth. And one excellent way to do that is how you look at the things in your life to give you the meaning that serves you. Because your life isn't the things that happen to you. Your life is the meaning that you've derived from the things that are happening, right? You're living life through the lens of meaning, not through the lens of situation. No, Ranesh, but I'm in this situation. You are, but I guarantee you that multiple people in this situation are going to have multiple meanings, and they're going to have multiple lenses through which they look at the world. I'm just asking you to choose a lens that's going to empower you. Because remember what we said, the whole goal is evolving, right? And sometimes we evolve through our business. Sometimes it teaches us consistency. It teaches us nurturing. It teaches us patience. It teaches us how to give. It teaches us how to be problem solvers, right? That's how you become a higher version of yourself. So be easy on yourself and realize that you have to trust the process. You have to trust the process. And when I think of, hey, how do I find solutions in the chaos? That's how we break it down. We start and we redefine what chaos is. To me, and the root word, chaos, originating from the Greek meaning, it's an abyss, it's emptiness, it's the primordial start, the first state of the universe. When I say universe, I mean your universe, your ecosystem. It's the beginning. You have an opportunity to infuse goodness into that and orchestrate a new creation, something new in your office. And in doing so, you focus more on your world, so that way you can impact the world. Sometimes we lose perspective, because everything coming at us, we're thinking that we're meant to focus on everything out there. But you sometimes just got to close your eyes and be like, how do I just do this? How do I focus on my world? And I can promise you, when you reshuffle and you just pivot inward, you will find a place where you'll have answers, insights, downloads, gifts, thoughts that will direct you in the right place when the time is right. If you just stay there in your world, you'll be able to impact more of the bigger world from the inside out. And then if you take that, you apply it to business, don't forget the cash flow move, some of the tactics, some of the basics, the foundationals that we always talk about, whether it's emailing, texting, reaching out, being in front of your patients, making sure, don't forget that no matter what you're going through in your office, that's key, because some of us get inundated and the whole entire day turns into the chaos, the old form or the old definition of chaos, right? The common definition. And we don't want to be parading around our day thinking, man, that's what this whole entire day is about. And you define your days from the stress that you have delivered to yourself. The meaning that you've given from that situation, you're defining your days. And when you do that, you're not able to create something new. You know, everything's energy. As soon as you shift your energy, things outside of you on a quantum level, it's hard to specify. They start to move, they start to shift. You start to influence those things, people, situations, circumstances come together to support your greater vision. But you have to get there energetically. And then you focus on the bullseye move, which is, hey, I have a problem. What are the fewest steps I need to take to solve that problem? And I'll tell you this, many of you are making it harder for yourself than it is. Because you're asking for 15 steps. You're like, maybe I need to do all these 15 things. You don't need to do those 15 things. You need to do 2 or 3 things and then call it a day. Go to bed, leave the office, do something different, shift the conversation to something totally different, flip it around, see the new patient, talk to your team about something else. You see, if you constantly live in the problem, it becomes your perspective. Think about what we just said. If you constantly live in the problem, that becomes your perspective. And that's the danger. when your perspective turns into the lens that you see the world through, now it snowballs, right? That's where we get that whole idea of it. She spiraled, he spiraled, because he or she let the problem define their perspective because they lived in the problem. You have a choice. You can face it. You can say, hey, this is what it is. It's happening for me, not to me. It's a gift. I got to figure this out. And I can reframe my perspective. So I'm not living in the problem. I am leaning into the solution and the growth of who I'm going to become because I'm forming something new. I am forming something new that's going to be able to help, heal, serve, give even more of who we are, who I am, who my team is. I'm able to lean into that new thing. And now I'm going to approach the world through that lens, that filter. That sets in motion a brand new energy, a brand new sequence of events that will unfold in your life if you stay that course. And that's why it starts knowing what the bullseye moves are and asking that question, what is great about this that's going to help me grow and through the process help me serve and help others as I go through it.